and the combatants in the 2022 Osun State Governorship Election have been unveiled. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has released the final list of candidates eligible to participate in the July 16 governorship election in the southwest states. According to the list by INEC, the incumbent Governor Oyetola and of the All Progressive Congress and Senator Adeleke of the People's Democratic Party will slug it out with 13 other candidates. Babajide, it's going to be a very, very tough election, and we expect that it's going to go down the wire the way it went down the last 4 years. 4 years ago, that it's not an election that anybody will predict a landslide for any political party.
It's a long time from now, but I know that it won't be as tough as the last one. Certainly not. It won't be as tough as the last one. And
the last one had a rerun?
Yes, had a rerun. Oyetola was almost going to lose, but he bounced back through the instrumentality of the rerun. He won't need a rerun this time. He's going to win. He's still far away, but I can predict that Oyetola is going to win, and he will win in fairly comfortable fashion. So some of the issues that were present in the last election are no longer there. Some are still there.
They are there in another guise.
Yes, some are like the PDP, for example. INEC, this is a provisional list, as you know. It's still subject to change, depending on what the parties come up with. In the PDP, for example, I won't be surprised if the courts kick Adeleke out of this list, and he gets replaced by Dotun Babayemi, the man from Bogon, because there is already a court matter.
That's favored Dotun Babayemi.
Yusuf Alisan, one of the very bright lawyers in our country, as we all know, is Babayemi's lawyer. And what they were saying was that the court, a court in Ijebu-Jesha, gave the order that they should allow super delegates to take part in the primaries. But the primaries that Adeleke won, those super delegates were not used. You know, there was a parallel primary which Dotun Babayemi won. At that parallel primaries, they went ahead and used super delegates. The super delegates are the X this, X that, you know, all of those kind of people. So if the courts affirm that you conducted the primaries in contravention of the court order, that's very serious. It could cost him this ticket. So that's why I'm saying, look, the way things stand now, anything can still happen. Names on that list can still be, some of those names on the list can still be changed. And some of the aspirants who contested against Adeleke, like Sonia Omini, Laji Fatai Akimbade, Dele Adeleke, and Akin Ogunbi, they are no longer
within the.
They are not supporting. They are not supporting Adeleke.
In fact, Akin has gone of the Labour Party.
Yes,
now.
He has gone to. Is it a court party?
The Labour Party. His name has gone
on that list. Yes, he's gone to another party now. So these are. It now looks like Adeleke is standing alone amongst the people that they contested for that ticket. So these are some of the variables that may affect the outcome of the election. If PDP wants to unseat Oyetola, then they have to come together They have to be stronger than even that last time, because he has incumbency powers now that he didn't have at that time. So it's going to be interesting.
Now, when we look at within the All Progressive Congress, it's not as if all is well. There's this sentiment that, look, the Iwo people, they are agitating that power should go to the West. And you have the Minister of Interior, Rauf Aregbesola, also having a parallel, All Progressive Congress that, his people suffered that kind of defeat in the last primary election. And a lot of people will say they are going to an election with a divided house, and they might not have it easy.
Exactly. It's not as straightforward. Of course, it is politics, and because money also plays a major part in our own type of politics here, you don't know what is likely to happen. Anybody can be persuaded from both parties, because for me, the major gladiators in the Osun election are the PDP and the APC, and the other 13 political parties, the two major parties can actually persuade them to their side one way or the other. And of course, we cannot remove the Aregbe's factor in Osun election. Already, I heard that he's saying that his people should vote for whoever they like. He doesn't want to endorse
and some of his guys have gone to the People's Democratic Party.
So there may be a spoiler thing that you want to be, that one we shouldn't rule it out. But at the same time, I don't also expect the incumbent governor to just sit down and watch. You understand? He too must have be up and doing. And I also know that, you see, even the court case for the PDP, at the end of the day, they can still renegotiate with the other candidates, candidates that contested with. So for the.
If the court says that the guy is not the proper candidate,
then there is nothing he can do. He has to.
One thing about Oyetola is that very quiet governor, but in terms of achievements, in terms of what he has done and what he's putting together, you hardly hear him talk. But when you look closely, you discover that
he's called the gentleman governor. But,
he has done a lot.
Well, his methods are working, no doubt about it, and he is able to bring a lot of people to his side. And one of the things working for him is having Omishori on his side. Omishori, since 1999, Omishori has never lost an election in his constituency. Even when he contested on the platform of the SDP, he still managed to retain that his constituency. That his grip on Ife is wrong. And when you look at that whole state, it's like a tripod, and Ife is one of the legs on the tripod. So if you have Ife on your side, the governor is already assured of support in other areas, and with Ife coming to complement that support, it makes it difficult for the opposition, for anybody to defeat him. The numbers are just appearing to be in his favor. That's the way I see it. And the primaries also showed us what is likely to happen in the main election, because if the other people are indeed the threats, what were they able to do within their own party? Within their party, what were they able to do during that primary election? So that's the question that people need to ask, so that we don't look like we are even exaggerating their capacity. So the incumbency is a very strong factor in our politics, and gentleman Oyetola is an incumbent governor. He knows what he has to do, and it will take some stopping.
The former deputy speaker even resigned from APC. I've forgotten the man from Ilubu. I've forgotten the name, Honorable Lasso Yusuf. He's now a candidate in another party. That means, the two major parties, that's the APC and the People's Democratic Party, they are not having it easy in terms of internal crisis.
Even in spite of that, I don't see much of what...
Okay, let me quickly pick this call. I think Chudi is calling us from Kafanchan. Thank you for joining us.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. BKO.
I greet you, sir.
It has been a while indeed.
Yeah.
I wish to take this opportunity to actually congratulate you and thank you for your superb analytical prowess.
Thank you, my brother.
Then the area I want to concentrate is the Osun State forthcoming Guba election.
Okay.
I want all the contenders to have a fair play, and I have a fair play also. The electorate knows exactly whom they want. I am not from Osun State, but from the records, I can understand and commend the administrative style of Governor Oyetola so far.
Yeah.
Therefore, it will be very hard for anybody to unseat him in a credible and fair election.
Yeah.
So I thank you so very much
for
the information we are getting from you from time to time. God bless you.
God bless you.
Thank you, Chude. So we are talking about rankings within these parties.
What I was trying to say is that in spite of those rankings too, it's not going to affect much of what we are going to say.
So you don't see any party pulling surprise?
No, I don't see
small parties?
And any of them pulling any...
Not the fact that Lasso Yusuf has gone to another party?
It's not going
He was defeated in the polling station during the primaries. He was defeated right there, hands down, by a huge margin.
He's not going to...
Let's not over-exaggerate
he's not going to have any major effects on the results of the election. I also think that all of these things, we should look at the electorate themselves. What are they thinking? And what they at least the performance of the incumbent governor, how has it touched their lives?
Yes.
I know that before he came to power, there is this thing called half salary in
modulated salary,
which he came to solve. And I also know that there were issues around the education sector in that state, which has also been solved. So I'm sure that the electorate themselves, they know what they want.
Okay, just before we go, let's say happy birthday to the editor-in-chief of the Guardian newspaper. That's one of our own, that Martins Oloja, who clocked 60 on Tuesday. Jolly good fellow.
Yes.
Martins is 60.
Doesn't look it. So, when you look at his picture, you won't believe that he's already an old man. Martins is one of the most cerebral journalists in our country. Very, very opinionated.
The majesty of democracy.
Yes, that's the man who talks about the majesty of democracy.
Yes.
You know, he's someone that I like to sit with and test my wits with any day. And I was with the NYC DG. He said, "Look, I enjoy it anytime you and Martins are on the set together." You know, it took us a while to get him to begin to attend.
Yes, because after being made the editor-in-chief.
No, I mean, even before, I had been looking for him for a long time before eventually he agreed to start appearing on our show. And I can say that we have not regretted having him. You know, his whole life was dedicated to excellence in journalism. I'm happy.
Martins Oloja is 60.
Wow. Happy birthday. You know, he was even the one that suggested my name for journalist hangout. Yeah, he told me, he said, "No, you should be coming," and all of that. And eventually, when it happened, I saw him. I said, "I know you suggested my name." I said, "Hey, so you knew?" I said, "You discussed it once with me, so I knew that you must have been behind it." So if you know him when he talks with passion. with a lot of energy. And I just wish him all the best. Really, I didn't know that it's up to 60 years. He doesn't look it.
We wish him well.
He keeps his haircut very low.
Martin,
You won't see any strand of gray hair.
Okay.
We are coming.
So. But age will catch up with every one of us, whether we like it or not.
Journalists Hangout today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast tonight at 11 p.m. Join us on Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. for Journalist Hangout on Sunday. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Ozubakun. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.